Hey everyone, Chef Lisa here with Revive Wellness and my Viva plan. Today we're making a really simple and straightforward homemade hummus recipe. It's actually really easy to make at home. You just need a few ingredients and you need your food processor. So we're gonna just jump right in. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to make at home. So we wanna start, I'm gonna move this over here. Start by putting some garlic into your food processor. I just peeled it and kind of smashed it with my knife here. The food processor is going to do most of the work for us here, so you don't really have to worry about chopping it. And then I like to put the lemon juice in with it right away. The lemon juice, the acidity from the lemon juice helps to kind of mellow out some of the harsher notes from the garlic. We do want that garlic flavor in there. It gives it a lot of good punch. Really great flavor to our hummus, but we just want to mellow out some of those harsher notes in there. So that the lemon juice is going to help with that. I'm going to start with about half of this because I want to adjust the flavor of this as I go. Okay, so this is going to maybe make a little bit of a mess here, but we're okay with messes, right? Okay. Okay, so it looks very unexciting at this phase, but that's just the first step. Okay, we're gonna take the lid off now. Made a mess, that's all right. Now we're gonna add most of the rest of our ingredients. So I'm using canned chickpeas today that I've rinsed and drained. You can also use dried chickpeas that you have cooked at home. And in fact, I actually really like the flavor and the texture even better when using dried chickpeas that you've cooked at home. So if you think of it ahead of time, by all means do that, but nothing wrong with using canned chickpeas either. They're definitely very convenient and quick and easy. So we're gonna use those today. In they go. We have some tahini here, which is sesame paste. You can find this in most major grocery stores, usually in the aisle where peanut butter is sold. It adds a really nice nutty flavor, really creamy texture to our hummus, and it's a very typical ingredient you'll find in most hummus recipes. It's pretty essential, so you don't want to skip this part. Okay, so that goes in there. I believe that's a couple tablespoons. And then I have a couple different spices here, optional of course. We have some cumin and some paprika. Those spices are typically found, again, in most hummus recipes, but you don't have to include them if you're not into that or if you don't have them at home. It'll still turn out great without. A pinch of salt here. I always like to start with kind of less to start, and then we can add later if we need to. Kind of adjust to your taste. So a few grinds of pepper here as well. Okay, and we're gonna just blend this up to start. It's gonna be kind of chunky. It's not going to look like hummus quite yet, but we're going to have to adjust the consistency after this. So it starts to come together, sort of looks kind of like just a chopped up mixture, and that's okay. Doesn't look hummus-like quite yet. I'm going to scrape down the bowl. And if you feel like you need to, you can blend it again if it's not chopped up enough yet. I might actually do that. Okay, so now at this phase, we're gonna adjust the consistency a little bit. We're gonna do that with a couple different ingredients. We're gonna do some olive oil, another essential ingredient to hummus. So we're gonna put this through the feed tube while it's blending. It's only going to be about a tablespoon or so, maybe even up to 3 tablespoons, depending on what you like best. So we're going to kind of eyeball it a little bit here, but we're also going to adjust the consistency with water. I just have tap water here. If you've cooked your own chickpeas at home using dried chickpeas, feel free to use some of the cooking liquid. So save some of that and you can use that in your, to adjust the consistency, and it really doesn't affect the flavor in any way, so that will work great, but tap water works great as well. I would say that was about 2 tablespoons or so of olive oil. Just going to give that a scrape down. And now the water is going to come in, and this is where the consistency is going to loosen up quite a bit. So that's looking much better already. I probably only added about a 1/4 cup or so. Yeah, that looks really good now. Now you can adjust the consistency to whatever your preferred consistency is. So if you like yours a little bit thicker, a little chunkier, don't add as much water. So you're gonna have to kind of eyeball it. Or if you like it a little bit thinner, the way I do, you'll want to add a little bit more water. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that as your hummus sits, it is going to firm up a little bit. So chickpeas have a lot of starch in them, so those starch molecules are going to want to absorb some of that liquid as it sits. So it's going to just firm up on its own. But then also once you put it in the fridge, the refrigeration temperatures are going to just help things to firm up as well. So if it looks a little bit thin to start, it will firm up a little bit as it sits. So I like this the way it is right now, I think. So I am going to call that done. You do usually want to taste it at this stage and adjust the flavors. So if you feel that it needs a little bit more acidity, you can add the rest of your lemon juice. If it needs some more salt and pepper, you can adjust that. All those kinds of things you can adjust at this phase. You can even add more tahini if you want it to taste a little bit nuttier. So that's the beauty of hummus. It's usually a bit of an adjustment thing where you're just sort of adjusting the flavors as you go. So this is all done, and what I like to do with my hummus is I like to have it with raw veggies. So I'm going to show you a little quick trick here to be able to take it with you wherever you want to go, whether that's to work or in your kids' lunches, if you're having some kind of an outing or going to the gym for a workout. It's a really easy and quick way to pack it with you. So I'm going to show you a quick trick with that coming up here. So one of my favorite ways to eat hummus is actually with raw veggies. So I've discovered a nice little trick that you can use when you want to take your hummus and veggies anywhere that you want to go, and that's by using a mason jar. So what you want to do is actually place it down on its side and use that as a guide so that you know what size to cut your vegetables so that they don't stick up above the top of the jar. So I've done that already. I'm using red bell peppers, I'm using celery, carrots, and some raw zucchini, some of my favorite veggies to have raw. So once you have those all cut up, then you just want to scoop a little bit of your hummus into the bottom of your jar. So a couple tablespoons, however much you want really. Probably about a couple tablespoons in the bottom. And then you can just start packing your veggies in there. Got to get some of that veggie action going. So you want to kind of stack those in whatever configuration you like. Try and get as many as you can in there. Use whatever veggies are your favorites. Switch it up as much as you want. That looks good to me. So you have that all packed in there, and then you can just pop the lid on. And then you have yourself the cutest little veggie snack to take with you anywhere you want to go. So take it with you to work, put it in your kids' lunchbox. You can take it with you. It's a great road trip snack. It can fit right in your cup holder. So it's a great way to get some veggies and a protein snack for your road trips as well. It's just a great portable snack to take with you anywhere you want to go. So please try this recipe at home. It's so easy to make. The recipe for the hummus can be found on my Viva plan. Give it a try, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.